Hello, bright and shiny beacons of light. Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation, with tonight's YouTube Live of Transmuting Fear, or basically love over fear. We're going to shed some fear tonight. We're going to bring in the love. And if you're listening to this, then you are a bright and shiny beacon of light, even if in disguise. And we are going to help you to bring that light out and crank it up to the max. So with that said, it is an interesting time to say the least. And I'm just moving things around so I can see things better here. It's an interesting time to say the least. We have coronavirus in our little Aspen Valley here. We've been dealing with all things coronavirus for ourselves, for our family, for our coaching clients. But throughout it all, we have done our best, and I am doing my best to bring it back to a place of love. And that's what I want to help teach you here this evening, is how we can truly have love over fear and what that really means. With that said, I want you to set an intention with me tonight, because group intention is so powerful. And that intention is that if you are watching this, then you too are a light worker. And all of us light workers together are going to help bring more love to the world. So take in a deep breath. Send it out, and send out all the love and light to the world you can. And we're going to be talking more about this later. Realize this: we are living in a time of a global dream, for we are all manifestors. This is something that I teach about each and every week. We can choose as a society, as a species, as a planet, we can choose to manifest greatness, or we can choose to manifest nightmares. The choice literally is ours. The big question is, what does this mean? We can choose to manifest greatness. We can create the global dream that we desire. What does it mean, and how do we implement it? Particularly when there are so many, quote, crazy stories out there, some of which we're finding out literally are not being blown out of proportion, like all of Italy going from almost no cases of coronavirus about 3 weeks ago to being fully locked down. With that said, we're going to dive into all of this and how we can help transmute that fear. First, a few key notes. One, we have a boot camp next week on tapping. It is a tapping, EFT tapping boot camp next week to help you. Well, it was going to be specifically about overcoming your abundance blocks, which means we get to deal with some self-worth issues, but it's also going to be dealing with fear, because abundance blocks often have to do with fear. So if you're feeling choked with fear right now, you're going to want to join us next week for our 5-day tapping boot camp. And then the following week, we are going to have a full-blown boot camp on going from being negative to positive, or cranking your positivity to the max. If you're listening to this, you're going to want to crank your positivity to the max. Last but not least, I am booked for coaching all the way through May now. So if you want to get in on coaching with me and see if one-on-one coaching is right for you, then you want to book a strategy session with me if you're very serious about coaching, finding out about it anyway. And that, Jessica's going to put the link in here. That is inspirenationshow.com/coaching. Jessica's running the chat room here tonight. She's my wife. She's the producer of the show. She's my everything. She's also exhausted from a recent spiritual journey down to Sedona. So she's going to be specifically in the chat room. All right, let's talk about how we can transmute this energy. The first thing is, as a light worker, you are extra sensitive to energy. You wouldn't be watching this show if you weren't, because a lot of what I share is at an energetic level, not at the level of words. It's why we often get comments that people, well, we had Dan DeRue of Fox News years ago who talked about, Michael, you could make a telephone pole sound interesting. And that was because I was playing at the level of energy. So you're attracted to the energy that I'm giving you because you're helping share this energy with the world. You have an ability to transmute or transmit incredible energy, which means You also get to watch the energy that you ingest. Because if you're early in this game as a light worker, it can feel overwhelming and it can dramatically drag you down. Once you learn how to Tai Chi it, or to bring it in, spin it back around, and send it out. Jessica got me this amazing stone in Sedona. I don't know if you can see it. And I think it is called a gold, obsidian gold or something to that effect. With this stone, I'm able to cast out energy. Once you learn how to transmute and cast out energy, you are an unstoppable power of good. However, we need to watch that energy carefully. And I like to go, watch that energy carefully. In fact, many times I was doing just that. I was diving into the news, typically negative, worthless stimulation, but I wanted to understand what is my valley getting like. And I have coaching clients coming from Rome. I have coaching clients in the UK. I've got coaching clients all around the world. What are they facing right now? But then I would have to go back to a centered place and literally shed off that negativity from me. So, for instance, if you watch the news or if you go to social media right now, you may feel buzzy and tingling. You may feel excited. You may feel that you get to do something, and you may feel actually energized by the experience. It's the same thing that can happen with an action, I'll put that in quotes, an action movie or even a horror movie. You may feel initially energized. Why is that? Doesn't mean you're a bad person. In fact, if you got excited about this, let's be honest. As a species, we like to look at car accidents or train wrecks. Why is that? And it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean that necessarily you were Genghis Khan in a past lifetime. What it does mean is that we are all hardwired to look for danger. And when we find danger, we go, aha, there it is. And the whole body can go, I see the tiger. Now I can relax. And so we are looking for the tiger. And so when we scan the news, when we scan the web, and we find things out about the virus, we go, aha, that's the tiger. Now, in a sense, I can relax. And so we get a dopamine rush, a rush of goodness, as in a sense, we're looking for, I'll put it in quotes, badness. But as a light worker, I want to challenge you to look deeper. Peel away one layer of the onion. You ever done something that you quickly regretted? Or maybe it was you kissed a girl or kissed a boy or something to that effect, and then afterwards you're like, ooh, that didn't feel good at all. Underneath that dopamine rush or that dopamine hit is often, and in this case, I'm going to go with always, a layer of ick. Ick is that feeling you have when you kiss that boy or that girl and you go, ooh, that wasn't the right thing to do. That's the ick that you want to shower off of you. That is also the ick that we want to shower off of ourselves after we've been dancing with the news right now or after we've been dancing with social media. What we get to watch is how do we get rid of this ick and how do we not spread the ick? Coronavirus is going to do what coronavirus is going to do. Our job is to slow it down, maybe less communicable contact, less going out in public events. I'm not talking about spreading fear over love here. I'm saying if we slow it down by a little bit less intermingling, then the healthcare systems of the world won't be overwhelmed. And that is a very big and beautiful thing that we can do. We can spread more love by keeping more of the hospital beds empty. But it's one thing to shop to take care of your family. It's another to spread the ick. The ick is more dangerous than the virus itself because it's the ick where we manifest things on a global level. Ickiness is going into a place of fear, going into a place of doom, going into a place of the economy is going to crash, the stock market is going to crash, everything's going to crash. When we go to that level of ick, we are manifesting on a global level a true nightmare. If instead we catch that ick, we step back from whatever we're doing, I calling stop, drop, and ground. What is stop, drop, and ground? Well, if I catch myself going to ick, if I catch myself being hyped up by this, and I pause and I go, what's that energy? And I peel away a layer and I go, ooh, I don't feel good underneath. Then I'm going to go, I bring in the love. In fact, I may call in, I'm an angel guy. You don't have to be an angel guy, but I'm an angel guy. I'm proud to admit it. I'm going to Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, help me call in and bring in the love and help me shed off any negativity from me. You can do this as a prayer. You can do this as rituals. You don't have to believe in anything, but you can literally just run your hands down your body and shed off the ick. Is it real? Is it not real? You will literally feel a difference. And that means when you go out to shop, when you go out to get your supplies, be an ambassador of love and light rather than an ambassador of ick. Catch yourself if you go to that place of ick, even if you're in the line, waiting in a long line to get the last toilet paper or whatever it is. Go back to a place of love and light. Go to a place of prayer. Catch that ick. Shed it mentally off of your body. In essence, we can use that ick to be the most incredible positive in the world. That's why I look at, yes, this is a serious health crisis. Okay, do I want to use the word crisis? Yeah, it is if we don't have enough hospital beds for people, which means we get to do things more slowly and out of love. What does it mean out of love? And I want to pause here. Every one of my notes I'm going to put to the side for a second. Illness is dis-ease. Dis-ease is being overwhelmed, our body's natural immunity being overwhelmed. And one of the largest contributing factors to being overwhelmed is stress and negativity. We all know the more stressed out we get, the more we get sick. We get the cold, we get the flu, we get something when we can least afford to get it. Why? Because we're completely stressed out and overwhelmed. Well, if people are watching the news right now, it is very easy to get in a place of total stress and overwhelm, and therefore quite literally easier to get sick. If instead we can bring some love, some levity, some positivity, some kindness, some compassion, some love, some light to the situation, then people's immunity quite literally, this has been studied by science, goes up. Goes up. More positive people get sick less. Why? Because they're not as stressed out. Their systems aren't as overwhelmed. Do you know the last time I got a cold? And I'm not saying that to brag, but it's been over a year. I don't get a cold. Why? I do my best to come back to this place. You can come back to it too. And more importantly, as an ambassador of love and light, as a light worker, you can bring this positivity to everybody around you. In other words, the more ick there is in the world, the more that you get to step up to the plate and be a positive beacon of light. You not only will transmute the negative, but you can turn this into an incredibly positive experience. Every time that you see people going to the negative, use it as a reminder to come back to the positive. Every time that you see somebody sliding down, use it as an opportunity to share love with them. This will literally transform you. It's an incredible opportunity, an opportunity for us to come together, to light things up, to be and step into the light. If you're listening to this, you're an ambassador of love. You came from love. You are love. You can share love. You can literally help transmute people's fear into love. And even if you're saying, Michael, my light is too dim to do that. Well, guess what? Love is the ultimate renewable resource. The more love that you give away, the better you will the better you will feel. And the more that you do this, you leave your darkness behind. behind. So yes, the more that the world goes to a place of ick, the more you have a positive opportunity to shift your life and therefore shift others. That's why I looked at this as such a positive opportunity for humanity. Because humanity and humanity of one never changes when comfortable on the couch. But when things get really uncomfortable, we make great positive change. What an opportunity this is. Yes, you can go to things like tapping as well, which in all seriousness helps tremendously. We're going to be covering that in our next boot camp. You can do that to literally transmute your fear into love. In fact, we've got a free video that you can check out. I'll have Jessica put a link to the free video on transmuting, in this case, taking abundance blocks and how to blast past them with tapping. But this is also time that we can change on a global scale by doing the inner work. We can drop borders. We can realize we're all one. We're all on this one tiny blue dot spaceship. And we can do that by bringing the most incredible neighborly kindness, compassion, and love during this time. Key point, watch what you ingest during this time. And I don't just mean through your mouth, though certainly I would eat the highest vibrational foods you can. We eat the foods at the level we resonate in. When we're in fear, we reach for junk food. Instead, reach for the celery juice, reach for the vitamin C, reach for the organic produce, as long as there's some still there, and reach for one of our favorites, and we get it from RNA Reset because we absolutely love Carolyn Dean's products, and no, we are not sponsored by them. Kind of wish we were, but get some colloidal silver, a known antiviral, antifungal, and antibacterial. We're recommending it to our family. We're taking it ourselves. Take some colloidal silver, but eat the highest vibration foods you can. Stay away from the low vibration foods. Stay away from the processed food. Stay away from the sugar right now. Why? Because it brings your energy down or your immune system down at the same time you need to bring it up. But also watch what you ingest with your eyes. Watch what you ingest with your ears, with your nose, with everything. Because everything you bring in can either bring you up or bring you down. This is so important right now. If you're to be a light worker, if you're to share your light in the world, if you're literally just to share your life in your home, then you can't afford to be eating the ick. So if you need to, go into social media. Not even sure how much you need to do that. Go into your local news. Go into what you need to see what's coming. Take action on that. I admittedly, not out of a place of fear, but out of a place of love. I went shopping yesterday morning and I got some basic supplies. And then I can go back to doing my business. I don't have to worry about it. And I'll let you in on a secret. The supermarkets restock each morning and they're really quiet first thing in the morning. So do what you can to flip your schedule on your head if your work will allow you, and get in first thing in the morning and be an ambassador of love. Everybody in the grocery stores right now is a little bit freaked out, except you don't have to be. You're more awake, you're more aware, you listen to this. So bring all the light in the world that you can. And then when you get out of there, if you feel the ick, go into prayer, ground yourself, stop, drop, ground, and shake that ick right off of you. Two last things, and I want to open it up to a lot of questions here tonight. Think love over fear. This is a key concept. We're always talked about, and it comes from, I believe, A Course in Miracles. You can choose love or you can choose fear. But love and fear are not equal. Fear is indirect love that's lost. Fear is indirect love that's lost. When we're talking about love over fear, we're talking about a parent loving a child. That child that is fear, that is lost, that is confused, gets to have all of our love, kindness, and compassion. If you feel fear, take that fear in, hold that fear, snuggle that fear, be with that fear, love up that fear and hear what he or she has to share with you as a unconditionally loving parent, and be there for your fear. Literally nurture the fear. The more that you do that and bring that fear into the light, the more it melts away. Lastly, I want to challenge each of you to be the voice of calm. Be the voice of calm. Be the voice of peace. Be the voice of kindness. Be the voice of compassion. And be the voice of love during this time. It will completely transform your outlook on the world, completely transform your life, and can completely transform the lives of everyone around you. Look beyond yourself and say, how can I help the world? How much love can I bring to others? And how can I help them bring love over fear? I want to challenge you not just to do the internal work right now, but to do the work of helping others. We have hundreds, maybe thousands listening to this tonight, or at least thousands who will listen to this over the lifetime of the video. If we can each make a positive difference in the lives of those around us, even if it's just passing shopping carts with somebody else, say a kind word. That changes their energy, it changes somebody else's energy, and it changes somebody else's energy. And we go from having the potential of a global nightmare to having the potential of a global positive dream. So I want to leave it with that, leave you with a lot of love here tonight. I want to open it up to questions. Please come join us in our tapping boot camp. It's next week from 8:30 on East Coast, 5:30 on the Pacific. We are going to tap away fear. We are going to tap away blocks to abundance. We are going to tap away challenges to self-worth. And what I know from our last boot camp is when we get together and meditate or tap together, that energy is palpable. Group intention is real. If you want to blast past those blocks and you come together for about 45 minutes a night, just Monday through Friday, or catch even one of the classes, it's only $7, and you can get the replay of all the rest. Or heck, if you can't make it to any, if you're on the other side of the world, just get the replay of each one of them. It's still going to be imprinted with this incredible positive group energy. All right, love you guys so much. Let us open it up to some questions. Jessica is running the chat room here, which I have no idea how she does it. She is a true, true miracle worker. What do we have for questions?
What are some things that you're doing when you go to the grocery store to bring light and love to everyone around you?
Great question. What am I doing when I go to the grocery store to bring light and love to everybody around me? The first thing that I'm doing is before I go into prayer. Before I go into prayer. And I ask for this journey to be an opportunity to send light and love to those around me. Then when I go in, each time I remember, because I'll get distracted by going for the chili peppers, I'll get distracted by going for the case of celery, but we're on Anthony Williams' celery juice protocol. But I will look at somebody and send them love. Look at somebody else, not in a creepy way. They don't have to see me staring at them. But each person that I pass, I'm going to say, I send love, and I send love, and I send love. And the more that I can send love to each person, people feel it at the register. They're like, what's going on? They want to talk with me. It's really cool. I get distracted, forget to enter a phone number or something, but it's still really cool. But I feel so much better because I'm literally beaming or broadcasting out the love with everybody that I pass. So that's the number one thing that I do. If I see, oftentimes you'll see a parent with a challenged child or something to that effect, I will actually pause and either go into prayer or send them extra love and focus on it for a minute, not from a place of judgment. You'll see lots of things in a grocery store where you want to go, oh my God, I can't believe that parent did this, said that, the other. Send love, send love, send love.
How do you react when people start dumping their fears on you?
That's a brilliant question. How do I react when people start dumping their fears onto me? First off, I get to recognize it. Because if I recognize that somebody is dumping fear onto me, then I no longer have to accept their fear. I can become a slip and slide and let that fear go right off of me. Secondly, if they're in conversation and they're dumping their fear on me, I'm very good at this point. And this is something, if you're listening to this initially, as light workers, as people who are sensitive, as empaths is another word that we can use, we tend to ingest other people's energy before we realize that we can put up boundaries. And so instead, we can put up the most powerful boundaries, which is to say, they start dumping, we cut them off. And we be very loving, kind, and strong about shifting that conversation in a different direction or literally stepping back from that conversation. We don't need to continue to engage. Dalai Lama, before an interview, once told, I guess through the Dalai Lama's team, once told this journalist who was coming to film a documentary, look, you can have half an hour, you can ask the Dalai Lama any question that you want. If the questions are respectful, he'll take all the time with you. If the questions cross the line, he will politely bow and bid adieu. He will head out of there. The Dalai Lama can transmute any energy that he wants. But why would he stay in that place of being dumped on? He will instead say, I have better uses of my energy. This is what we get to do. With family, this is the hardest, but that's why they are our teachers, and that's why they are the best at helping challenge us to do the work.
We have a question from Joe.
Yes.
Who writes, have you, Michael, considered creating a group like the Power of Eight to see the world as whole and healthy and allow the law of attraction to heal the world?
That is a brilliant question, Joe. And we do think of the Power of Eight when we are doing our boot camps. And oftentimes in our boot camps, we will set powerful group intention or world intention, bringing love to the world, healing the world, bringing peace to the world through our boot camps. So yes, we are doing that. We have considered and haven't implemented yet a way to do that in our podcast, like a pause in the middle of the podcast. But we're always looking at ways we can leverage the group coming together to make a powerful difference. And in fact, I'd be happy the last minute or so of this YouTube live for us to go into meditation, and let's do a Power of Eight, which is just Lynn McTaggart's way. She studied with groups of 8 and found that groups of 8 or larger can make a powerful impact. I think any group, a group of 2 can make a bigger difference than a group of 1, an N of 1. But the more people that get together and meditate on the same intention, I believe not only makes a big difference, and this is what Lynn McTaggart was finding, a researcher on this as well, not only makes a big difference on whatever you're trying to influence. Studies have shown crime rates gone down, like in DC, all sorts of incredible changes. Storms literally veered off, but also you as an individual feel better and things change for you as well. So brilliant, brilliant question, Joe. So glad to see you here tonight. And Keith, you're back. Welcome back, Keith. Who's the next question from?
Keith's question.
Keith's question. Oh, perfect. What kind of crystal would you carry on you, or do you carry on you to transmute negativity? That's a great question, Keith. And I am not a crystal expert. I tend to have something in the quartz family. Jessica just gave me this most amazing obsidian.
It's obsidian with a golden sheen.
Obsidian with a golden sheen. That's supposed to help with that. And you can kind of see that sheen in there. And then she just bought me also this bracelet, which is agate. Is that right?
It's Botswana agate.
Botswana agate, which is also supposed to help with transmuting negativity. So I would go to a crystal book and look at, forget the crystal book. Go into your favorite crystal shop and feel the stones and see which one feels best to you, because different crystals are going to resonate with people differently. I have all sorts of stones off to the side. I have quartz, I have lava. This lava one, when I'm giving a public talk, is one of my favorite to hold. It's not necessarily transmuting negativity, but what it's doing is giving me the power of the earth. I sleep with Let's see, I've got a little piece of it right here. Hematite stone, which is a very grounding and protecting energy as well. I'm almost always wearing, I don't have my other bracelet on right now, hematite jewelry because of its grounding nature. And I often sleep while holding a much larger hematite stone as well. There is an energy to the earth. There's energy to different parts of the earth. This is abundance. This is hematite mixed with gold. Hard to see in this twilight hour right now, but there's a special feeling of abundance with this as well. Thank you, Keith, for a brilliant question. Do we have another question from people?
It's not a question, but it's a comment from Joe, which I think is very important. The vibration of Mother Teresa was so high that she could care for 4 people with diseases that were highly contagious, like leprosy, and she never caught them. She was pure love.
This, Joe, is the ultimate, and thank you for sharing. The higher vibration we get in, the more we can transmute anything. I had on one of my favorite all-time guests, and I want to get him back on the show. We've had him on 2 or 3 times. Dr. Dean Radin. He's the head of the Center for Noetic Sciences, and he studies with the scientific method things like telepathy, things like precognition, knowing things before they happen, things like changing random number generators and making them non-random. And he talks about how scientifically you can literally, this was the most fun discussion perhaps I've ever had, transmute the energy of a donut into something positive. And it's true. Everything is energy. It's not good. It's not bad, although I like to say it's good or better. It's just energy. And if you can view it as such and uncouple from the label, leprosy, bad, coronavirus, bad, and instead it is an energy coming toward me and I can do something with this energy, it changes everything. Now, it's hard to transmute things if we're down. It's hard to transmute things if we're exhausted, which is why coronavirus affects the weaker population, older people, infirmed people, people who are already struggling or challenged because there's too much stress on their system. So what we can do by going to love and light is help reduce that stress, is help remove some of that burden so that the body can transmute it on its own. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful point, Joe.
What are your thoughts on creating a talisman
Ooh. Now, are we talking
for protection?
a physical one, or are we talking just energetic, something like a drawing or something that we could give to
Well,
people?
either.
It's a brilliant idea.
Just explain what.
So to me, and I may not have the best definition of a talisman, but to me, a talisman is a symbol or physical thing that you can carry with you or that you can have on your notebook, that you can have in front of you to help transmute energy, to help get you into, well, you can use it for so many different things, but we can use it as a device or vehicle of transmutation. I was given one in a dream a few years ago that I have not taken ownership of yet. I was told that I'm supposed to always wear an Egyptian ankh. And that was given to me in a dream.
Oh, I thought that was a past life regression.
It may have come there too. So that, you're right, it did there. Geez, now I've got to challenge my memory. Which came first, chicken and the egg? But I was told my talisman is an Egyptian ankh, and I've gotten that several times. And I haven't taken ownership of that. I probably get to do that. And we can infuse anything with power. In fact, I talked with Dean Radin about this too. We can infuse anything with a positive energy. Actually, we can infuse anything with any energy. For that matter, I probably don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but on one level, there's no such thing as negative or positive. There's just higher vibration and lower vibration. The more that we infuse a sign, symbol, or thing that we wear with a positive vibration, the better. So I guess you could say that I have a talisman. I'm almost never caught without having a Buddhist beaded necklace on me. It is my thing that I wear for protection. I went out inline skating for the first time for this year, and you betcha I had on my beaded bracelet, and I say a prayer when I put it on. So it's a good question what that talisman would look like. I almost say it wants to look like a mini Sir Meowsers, but who knows? Do we have a next question?
Joe says any type of black crystal or black rock will work Also a small amount of sea salt or Himalayan salt in your pocket. That must be why I was gravitating towards these.
Joe has it going on. It's also why when we lived on our house in Maui, where we had an experience that required a professional exorcism, we were throwing Himalayan sea salt all over the place, left, right, and center to get rid of that negativity. And a good point, Joe, is that if you are doused with that negativity, that instinct, if you have that ick on you, that instinct to shower or be done with it is real. And I would recommend an Epsom sea salt bath because it drains that negative charge right off of you. Have any more questions?
Keith writes, I'm thinking about doing a past life regression. Who do you think would be a really good one for me where it would be my first time?
Well, it depends where you are in the world. I can suggest if you're in Australia, the most amazing past life regression, if we've ever met, who trained directly with Dolores Cannon, and her name is Xian Chow.
I'll type it.
All right, excellent. But that's in if you're Perth, Australia. I know there's supposed to be some extraordinary ones in Virginia Beach, Virginia at the institute there. Jessica, does it ring a bell, the name to you? One of the original past life regressionists? I bet Joe comes up with the answer before we do. All right, Joe, we're counting on you here. She's looking up Virginia Beach past life, and it'll pull it right up. And it is type in center. Go over past life center. Oh,
I don't think it's a past life center.
No, it isn't, but it'll pull it up. So we will pull up this place in Virginia Beach. Why don't we take a next question while we are looking that up? And yes, ask for referrals because people have done it. We've had several past life regressions. Some people are certainly, thank you, the Edgar Casey Center in Virginia Beach. Thank you. Edgar Casey Center in your Virginia Beach. In Maine, I would ask around. I would go to crystal shops and I would ask specifically who has had it done and who they recommend. Always go to somebody who has personal recommendations if at all possible. Next question. Well, we can certainly wrap up a bit early if we don't have too many questions. I'm thinking that turnout is down tonight because people are having a hard time with fear tonight. And so I would doubly encourage you, if you're watching this, reach out to others in your life right now. While on the one hand, we may get to hunker down, on another hand, what a powerful opportunity it is to reach out because we truly are all one. It is hard to realize this at a time that we start to distance ourselves. In Italy right now, they have a 1 meter rule. You're not allowed to be within 1 meter of a person next to you because they don't want it transmitting. Nobody, I don't believe, actually knows how it's transmitted, but they figure distance is good, probably so. And so reach out because we're going to feel over this time period, my guess is the potential is to feel more isolated than ever, but we can also flip this on its head and use it as a time to feel closer than ever. Sophia asks, you mentioned using colloidal silver. How do you use it? We use, I don't know the official measurement, half a teaspoon, or I believe is what it is. A teaspoon 3 times a day is what you're using? And I've been using half of that. So I'll up the dosage. Half a teaspoon of liquid colloidal silver, I guess that's by definition liquid, 3 times a day. Eco hiker, what are some of the best ways to push past fear when making important decisions? Eco hiker, I'm going to challenge you on, I don't want to push past fear. I don't ever want to push past fear, which is interesting because I drew the rhino card here.